And what about the new Longines $3,000 Spirit Zulu GMT? Now, I haven't been able to get a hold of that Longines Zulu. Longines, call me. But I think the principle is the same here. You just gotta put your hopes out there, man, and the universe will provide. Well, actually, not the universe, but Topper Jewelers. In a recent video, I mentioned wanting to go hands-on with this watch. One of the awesome people at Topper Jewelers heard that, and they sent me this to borrow. Topper didn't pay me, they never have. Brands shouldn't give money to YouTubers, but if they did, I'm the only one they should give money to, and I don't want it. And here's the weird thing about this watch. I never would have mentioned this if it wasn't for so many people asking me about it. You people. On my YouTube and Instagram, this might be the most requested watch over the last year, so it's clear that this new GMT from Longines caught a lot of people's attention. A lot of people, except maybe mine. I have a strange prejudice about Longines watches, and I'm not entirely sure why. I've never had a bad experience with one. I've never heard of a friend having a bad experience with one, but it's the same with people who wear pajama pants in public. They could be perfectly nice people, but I just can't help but be dismissive. So here I am with a new piece from Longines, a watch people whom I respect are interested in, and maybe with this watch I can permanently purge my pernicious prejudice. The full name of this watch is the Longines Spirit Zulu Time, and I'm trying really hard not to pronounce the S in Longines. But this is America, damn it, and we pronounce our S's. This isn't France or the British Isles. The Spirit collection of watches came out only a year ago and includes some pretty compelling pieces. This GMT, 37mm pilot watches in steel, 40mm pilot watches in steel and titanium. There are chronographs, and then you get strap and bracelet options for all of them, and dial colors, and most of them are under or around $3,000. Being a GMT junkie, this Zulu Time, this is the most interesting one to me from the new collection. Zulu Time is UTC. The US military and NATO assign different letters of the alphabet to different time zones, and they assign different words to different letters. UTC plus 0 is the letter Z, and Z is Zulu, according to the NATO phonetic alphabet, like whiskey, tango, foxtrot. So Zulu Time is UTC. The whole military pilot connection does nothing for me. I don't care that Longines once made military watches, but some people do, a lot of people do, in fact, and they appreciate that brand heritage. The watch is 42mm wide, 49.5mm long, and 14mm thick. It takes 22mm straps and has a water resistance of 100 meters. On this strap, the watch weighs 113 grams, and on a full bracelet, it weighs 165 grams. The cost is $2,950 on this configuration with the strap and deployment buckle, or $3,050 for the bracelet, which is a surprisingly small jump in price. Now, I have not seen the bracelet. It could be hot garbage water, but in the world of Swiss watches, $100, even for hot garbage water, that's a bargain. But I'm sure the bracelet is at least acceptable, if not great. And I've been pleased with this strap and the deployant clasp. I'm usually not a fan of deployant clasps. I find most of them too bulky and uncomfortable, but this one has been alright on my 7-inch wrist. So much so that I haven't tried this on any other leather straps or NATO straps, sorry about that, but I have tried this Zulu on a steel mesh strap, which I do with a lot of watches. And every damn time someone sees me wearing a mesh strap, people ask me where I got the strap, and every damn time I say the same thing. Anywhere, it doesn't matter, they're all the same. I have mesh straps like this from 18mm all the way to 24mm. I've never paid more than $15 for one. They're all cheap, they feel cheap, and I've never had a problem with any of them. There's no secret vendor. Amazon, AliExpress, eBay, Grindr, Kijiji, they're probably all coming from the same few manufacturers. But whether this watch is on the leather strap or a steel mesh strap, it feels pretty good. I like how this wears on my 18cm wrist. This is not a small watch. It's bordering on large. It's almost large. 42mm wide and 49.5mm long. Those are the dimensions that might pose a problem for some people with smaller wrists, but really only pose a problem for people who just have different taste. On a strap, you could wear this on a 6-inch wrist. You could. If you like that style, go for it. Just don't post a photo asking for people's opinions because watch nerds can be vicious. In fact, just stay off the internet entirely. Everyone go touch grass. The watch hides the 14mm thickness really well. I would have guessed that this watch was somewhere between 12.5 and 13mm thick. The other dimensions and the design kind of imply that the Zulu is slimmer than it is. Inside the Zulu time is the L844.4 movement. This movement is based on the ETA A31.L01 movement. The Zulu time watches are currently the only watches to use this L844.4 GMT movement, but I hope more do soon because it seems kinda great. The movement has 72 hours of power reserve, it uses an anti-magnetic silicone hairspring, and it's certified as a chronometer by COSC, so -4 to +6 seconds per day or better. And this is a flyer style GMT, which means the local hour hand jumps and sets the date. That's opposed to a collar style GMT, where the GMT hand is independent and jumps. That's collar as in phone, not the thing around your dog's neck. Somehow, this style of GMT, the flyer style, got referred to by some people as a true GMT, and that's just wrong and dumb. Any watch with a GMT hand and a local hour hand is a true GMT. It doesn't matter how you set it. Stop saying true GMT, you're misleading people. But this flyer style of GMT movement is probably more rare, and so it's nice to see Longines and the Swatch Group investing in this. If you want to track an additional time zone, a third time zone, you can by using the rotating bezel. But I can't do that. I never developed the part of the brain that allows a person to read a GMT hand from both the rotated bezel and the dial, but I still like to rotate this 24-click bezel because it's very snappy and very solid. The bezel insert is polished ceramic with a lume triangle at 12 o'clock, or is it 2400 or 0? The dial numerals are also lumed, and I always love that. And there are lume plots next to each numeral. Actually, there's a lot going on under this crystal. You've got the 4 hands, the hour hand and the minute hand being pencil style. Hands are a little big detail in watch design, for me at least. They can make or break a design, and here, I think the hands are perfect. Simple, legible, not overly stylized. There's a lot of attention to detail here. The 6 o'clock date window has some nice beveling, and yeah, it's at 6 o'clock, which is great. The chapter ring is raised and has a silver chamfer, and where the diamond-shaped markers are, the chapter ring is cut out. It's a totally unnecessary flare that rewards people who look closely, and I'm one of those people, so I love this stuff. I'm not totally sold on the 5 stars applied to the dial. It's got a military vibe, and on a dial this busy, it's just a bit much. Not offensive, I just think it would be better without these. And did the Zulu time even earn these 5 stars, or is this stolen valor? The blue dial has a nice sunburst effect. Combined with the applied elements and the polishing and all the shininess, this is a very luxurious looking watch. And this look is what I'd use to compare and contrast the Zulu time to the Tudor Black Bay Pro. A bunch of you asked me to compare these two watches, and it's the appearances of these watches. That's what you should be considering first and foremost. If you're interested in both watches but can't decide, I think you should make your choice based on the looks. Both watches use flyer style GMT movements, both have bracelet and strap options, both have good water resistance, and no, you don't need 200 meters more than you need 100 meters. Neither watch will let you down functionally. The Longines is $1,000 cheaper. Maybe that's the most important fact, but after that, is the Black Bay Pro too austere for you, too boring? Maybe the Zulu time is too fancy looking and not toolish enough for you. Despite what the internet might tell you, there is no wrong choice here. The Longines, the Tudor, both, neither, 3 of each, whatever floats your flyer. I'd actually choose this one, the Longines. I like that it's 25% cheaper and 1mm slimmer than the Tudor. I also like all the fancy shininess. There's a lot to look at and appreciate here. And not just on the dial, but the case too is well finished with some really nice chamfers along the lugs. Am I going to buy this? No, I'm good for now, but I am really glad that so many of you asked me about this watch, and I'm glad that Topper Jewelers was helpful as usual, and I think I might be presently permanently purging my pernicious prejudice about Longines.